David Schwartz recently tweeted that there could be two important events. Before the Ripple event on September 29, there are numerous really exciting possibilities on this list, such as a Ripple IPO and a Ripple settlement with the SEC, which may propel XRP to new all-time highs. So I'd want to go over what he said could happen. I'm going to go over exactly what I think he was referring to in this video, since he chose two of the things I had specified for him from this list and claimed that they would happen before the Ripple celebration on September 29th. In this video, we'll go over each of those topics as well as recent XRP-related headlines. Many people are unaware of how early we are in this asset class, and I want to show you how in this video. Please stay for the duration of this discussion, as we will discuss that. I'd like to start this video by briefly mentioning the significant news that SBI just made, namely that they would be adopting Ripple and XRP for remittances between the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia, because it demonstrates that huge institutions are now welcome to use XRP for its intended purpose, moving money around the world now that the Ripple SEC litigation has been resolved, though this was planned out for some time. Announcements for using XRP are starting to ramp up now that the lawsuit has been resolved. I do believe that they will need to completely end the lawsuit to make the major announcements and for the major institutions to truly feel comfortable fully adopting Ripple and XRP. They need a final resolution to this situation, but organizations outside of the United States will become more aggressive and make more similar statements, demonstrating that Ripple is getting closer to realizing their goal of XRP becoming the ideal asset for international money transfers. And it's simply fantastic to see changes like this in more markets opening up, because it just moves us closer to our main thesis, which we have been stating. When they look at the markets today, I don't think many people realize how early we are. Guys, because we're in such informed communities on YouTube and Twitter, this asset class is still in its infancy. I believe that sometimes people lose sight of this. Oh, so many people comprehend it, and so many people believe it. Guys, I need you to pay attention to this audio that Dark Horse sent on Twitter earlier today, since it will help you understand how new this asset class is. It is these announcements of moving XRP across the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia will simply be the first steps towards something much bigger until we see universal adoption and things begin to properly develop. When you see, we'll break it down in this video. It is still in its early stages. In this statement, I want to share some examples of technology. Humans often adopt new data transfer technologies over a 25 to 30-year time frame. Despite being invented in 1890, radio did not become widely employed in commerce until the 1920s, even though television was invented in the same year. Houses didn't start receiving email until the 1950s, so most of you probably didn't have one. Even though email was founded in 1969, the Internet's TCP/IP protocol is the one I want to focus on the most for those who are unfamiliar. It was developed as a DRPA project in 1970, but it wasn't until 1995, when Windows 95 was released, that it received commercial recognition. There's also 1980 to 319, which is a key date. TCP/IP became the standard protocol 13 years after its inception. For the expansion of the Internet in 1983, Bitcoin has been in existence for 13 years. We're only now starting to talk about standardization. This has no chance of succeeding. The issue is not one of technology. Adoption at this period is related to human programming, as every 13-year-old in the United States has only known a world in which Bitcoin was a reality every 16 years. People in their golden years will have lived their entire lives. We are the infrastructure layer because we are present in this space, and we must foster conditions that provide each 13-year-old American with a foundation on which to construct the next world, in a world where Bitcoin has existed for 3 years at the age of 16, which is the adoption layer is significant because it typically marks the beginning of someone's interest in becoming a developer. I appreciate your time and eagerly await your inquiries. First and foremost, it is amazing that this discussion is even taking place in government. More teaching like this is needed. However, I thought this proposal was fantastic, as many of us have advanced understanding of this technology. We overestimate how far it has progressed because we assume we are experts. However, it is so early in the day that in comparison, the Internet took 25 years after its creation, but before it was widely used, we are most likely already there with cryptocurrencies. Only cryptocurrencies have existed. For the past 10 years, the only uses we can think of are speculative, but now and then, we can get a glimpse of actual utility being constructed in the background. And for that reason, I always share information like this when news like this comes out. Some people may be perplexed as to why the price did not rise. Only the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia are present. They are little. It is not a huge concern for nations. When will the major announcement be made? That is what we must understand. We pay attention to announcements like this because they reveal where the foundation's big announcements will come from in the future. Ripple is laying the groundwork for a value-added internet. They are the company that uses the digital money XRP. When all is said and done in 10 to 15 years, that is encouraging institutional acceptance of this asset class. I believe Ripple and XRP will emerge as unchallenged leaders in truly transforming our financial system. And when we look back on developments like these, we'll see that this was a foregone conclusion. These were the small states at first, as well as enterprises that were among the first to use this technology. Furthermore, there will always be a limited amount of victories. But news like this reinforces to me that Ripple and XRP will be at the top of the heap as this technology evolves, just as this person prophesied. This occurred earlier today on Twitter. XRP also posted my modest forecasts for the Ripple XRP Community Party to kick things off with the SEC. Ripple has announced a full settlement with 2 Ripples. 3 IPOs are announced during the celebration. XRP reaches new highs, and we all yell shame when Gary Gensler marches through the crowd naked, making a direct analogy to Game of Thrones. Finally, Brad and Shark performed Jello, because only 2 of those things would truly happen, David. Schwartz responded to what appeared to be a humorous tweet at first. That's extremely exciting because we now have to examine which of these 2 scenarios might occur as we go. First and foremost, I believe we should immediately cross Gensler's entry off the list. I don't think there'll ever be a circumstance where that happens, but I'm very sure David Schwartz would see it coming, which Kirkshop and Brad are envious of so far. 1 choice has been eliminated and 1 has been added, leaving 3 options. The SEC has announced a full settlement, and the 2 Ripples IPO was announced 3 times throughout the celebration. As much as I would like to see record highs. For 3 to be true, XRP is now trading above all-time highs, something I'm not sure David Schwartz could have predicted. I don't believe he wields that much power. As a result, we will remove that option. Under consideration, Ripple has declared a final settlement with the SEC. I simply do not believe that is possible in this case. Either way, the main reason I don't believe that will ever happen is that the SEC is currently appealing the ruling in the Ripple SEC case, and Judge Torres won't make a judgment on whether or not they are permitted to appeal the ruling until probably late November or early December. So the SEC won't agree to this settlement unless they are certain that they are permitted to appeal the case, contribute to their settlement talks. But I'm not convinced that the SEC will deal. Everything the SEC has done so far reveals that their sole purpose is to drag Ripple through the mud as much as possible to financially hurt the firm. The outcomes of this course of action would cause Ripple to announce a total settlement with the SEC and XRP to transcend all-time highs during a celebration. As you can see, we do not appear to be in the midst of a period in which a significant crash is approaching. This fundamental indicator flashed as it entered the negative area. Every time we have a severe crash. But what is obvious is that we are currently well into the affirmative. Nearly never have we had a stock market crash while we were in good spirits, and all we wanted was to continue. To make this point, I am aware that many cryptocurrency market participants have negative or gloomy views of the stock market, and my prediction is that cryptocurrencies will drop. Significantly more difficult if the stock market falls. Furthermore, if the stock market increases, a new bull market for cryptocurrencies will begin. I am closely tracking the stock market because I want to succeed as much as possible. Because, from what I understand, massive amounts of money eventually rule the Bitcoin business if a dip or recession occurs. They will not invest in cryptocurrency. They will not participate until they believe the market is in their favor. I'm crossing my fingers that this indication is correct. Traditional indices are set to achieve all-time highs, which bodes well for cryptocurrencies. People, I hope you appreciate this update. Please remember to like and subscribe if you did. It means a lot.